Delayed crack.
The struggle was real.
It was kind of real. Should we start out with the breaking news?
Dun dun dun.
All right, I am Davito,
I am Lalo.
and even though we are the 3D podcast, for some time there'll be two of us.
Yes.
Rocha is kind of taking a step back. He's not going to be doing the podcast with us regularly. He may walk back in here and there. He may not. That's up to him. Meanwhile, it'll just be two. And if we feel the need to invite someone to freshen stuff up,
we will.
Why not?
We'll find a local bum off the street who's not busy.
Sometimes they have the most interesting shit to say.
Mm-hmm.
Like that homeless or weird dude from the Seahawks game that was yelling obscenity. He's just walking down the middle of the street. So, yeah, that's it. No, we're going to keep trotting along until we feel like, we're going to stop. But for now, we keep going.
Yes.
Same name. No rebranding just yet. Unless we feel like we have to. And I think at this point, I don't think we need to.
Yeah, we're good right now.
Yeah. So, that's it. We got that out of the way. And that's a podcast, everyone. All right, see you next week.
Fuck you, Rocha. No, I'm just joking.
Look, he's cool. We'll probably, eventually we'll end up going out and getting some drinks. Like I said, no hostility, nothing like that. It was just his decision to kind of focus on other stuff, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Very, very interesting week.
The first week of 2018.
So interesting.
Yeah, it's off to a interesting start. So really not much to talk about. We're kind of going to grasp for stuff. We're going to try and pump some content out for you guys. Lalo. That's coming from your crotch area.
Yeah, that was... The soda still has some of that gas or whatever.
Yeah, blame it on the soda. So the last podcast we talked a little bit about the NFL stuff and who we favored, and all that good stuff. And I guess we're gonna start off just zoning down or just pinning down our picks for this weekend. I'm actually supposed to be doing a pick pool with my old coworkers. I told them to just save me the last pick, so I don't know who I'm supposed to be rooting for this weekend. But it's out of all the teams in the playoffs, it's kind of one of those things where you pay like $20 and everyone draws a team, and then hopefully your team makes it all the way.
Oh, nice. That's
but
cool.
I don't know what team I got. So,
You
all right,
got the Seahawks. You got Blair Walsh.
Oh, Jesus. Actually, let's start off with Blair Walsh real quick. So the Seahawks actually signed a new kicker at some point this week. So that's competition for Blair Walsh, and I'm pretty sure that's like kind of his way out or something. The kicker used to be a Jacksonville kicker. I think he did 6 games this past season, and like he was with them 2015 and 16. I forget his name, something Meyer, something like that. Oh well, I got it right here, Jason Myers. So, yeah, welcome to the big leagues, boy. But that's all. I just wanted to bring up what's his face one more time.
By the way, this is called the Blair Walsh podcast.
The
Blair Walsh episode.
Yeah, it's gonna be the
the Blair Walsh project. Looks like it's gonna be over here, but it is what it is. He had a horrible season, but we move on.
Yeah, it was a rough season for him, and I gave him a lot of shit because it's so personal to me, being a Hawk fan. But whatever. All right, games this weekend. 2 games on Saturday. The Tennessee Titans versus Kansas City Chiefs, and the Atlanta Falcons take on the LA Rams. I kind of want to root for the Titans, and I'm going to stay on the Titans because for some reason I just don't want Kansas City to make it too far.
Are you still going to root for him even though DeMarco Murray's out?
The Titans?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
They're starting running back.
Yeah.
You still going to go for Titans? Okay.
Yeah, the Chiefs, I'm offended with the Chiefs and the Indian little arrow they have. And
I'm going to call them the Kansas Cities. What was that one reporter? Or was it Phil Simms who I'm going to start calling the Redskins of Washington?
The Washington,
Yeah, I remember every season before he had no problem saying Redskins. And then once they brought up this whole Native American thing, he's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna call them Redskins. I'll call them Washington."
Well, here's the interesting thing with the Redskins. I have with my job, I talk to a lot of people, and there's one guy that's Native American. And I didn't know. I thought he was like Mexican. He just didn't speak Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually tried talking to Spanish to him a couple times to see if he'd understand, but yeah, it wasn't happening. Then I found out that he was Native American.
Makes
And I was
sense.
like, okay, makes sense.
Makes sense because
Um,
he has a bearded. He has a beaded wallet.
and then so I asked him because he was wearing a Washington Redskins hat once, and I was like, "Oh, you go for Washington? You go?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he goes, "That's because I'm a Redskin." And I kind of looked at him because I am now like this PC kind of ish guy. Well, kind of like I still, for the sake of humor and like stuff, I always joke around and I will like make fun of race and stuff. But it was kind of weird in a job environment to casually hear, "Oh, I'm a Redskin" from like a Native American guy, and
Yeah.
he wasn't offended, nothing like that, and he took pride. Like the way he said it was just like, "Yeah, that's what I am. I'm a Redskin and stuff." And like I was like, okay." So, I mean, there was a lot of fuss about the name and all that good stuff, but there's people out there that I guess take pride. And the guy's been from the valley, from here. He's not anywhere near, Washington D.C. But since they are the Redskins, he roots for them because that team represents his culture or something like that.
From what I understand, the history of the name Redskins from Washington, the football team, is they had that they got that name approved from like top Redskin officials.
Yeah,
From like actual like Native Americans that were like, yeah, we want you to celebrate our culture by calling us Redskins. The football team. We understand what you're trying to do. We're cool with the Redskins. Well, years passed by and they just figured it's still, I don't know, it's still like, um, I don't know how to explain it, but they thought it was still okay with it. And now how we're moving more PC, like you're saying,
yeah,
they never really went back. It's like, is it still cool that we call you guys Redskins, or is that still a name that you guys go by? And I'm assuming because they were saying that now some of the Native Americans don't approve of it,
yeah. Some of them
so it's
don't
kind of
like
like
it.
like in the middle of the line.
Yeah, and it's kind of a similar story is the city of Cleveland went to plumbers and for the name Browns because they work around shit all the time, and they want to name their team over how shitty they play.
Oh, okay, that's a good
But
one.
no one's offended by that one
No,
yet. So,
that was good.
but that story's not true. But
It sounded
uh,
like it.
yeah, all the Jaguars you find in Jacksonville. But no, that was kind of that's my thing with the Redskins is I thought that was kind of weird, and I still think that's kind of weird. And that's like I'm all for keeping the name Redskins. I don't think it's offensive. Well, not to me. I mean, if there was like the San Diego like wetbacks, I think I'd be pretty pissed off. Actually, no, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'm a wetback.
Yeah, Arriba.
All right, so I'm going for Tennessee Titans.
All right, I'm gonna go for Kansas City on this one.
All right. So the next Saturday game is Atlanta Falcons at Rams, and this is I'm torn on this one because one team advanced and kind of kicked Seattle out, but Seattle wouldn't have made it anyway. That's Atlanta. And then the Rams just won the division and they're turning it up. I think I'm gonna lean on the Rams because I think the Rams are at home. They are. So
Um, I'm gonna go with the Rams. I don't like the Falcons. They don't perform well when they need to. When it comes down to the line, they always crumble.
they seem to blow some
They
leads.
they have no defense to stop.
Oh, the
What's his
Rams are on
name?
fire too.
Yeah, they're all clicking.
Yeah.
But the thing is that they're only a one trick pony right now. Is they rely on Todd Gurley.
Gurley didn't turn up till the last couple weeks of December though.
That is true, but if you look at the stats from like the quarterback Case Keenum, right,
Yeah.
or Jared Goff,
Oh
excuse me,
god.
Jared Goff, he's like throwing it like 25 times a game,
Oh really?
and like almost half of those attempts are to Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley gets more receptions as running back, so the offense is a little bit more Todd Gurley, and you can't. It's nothing wrong with it, but if somehow the Falcons try to contain Gurley,
Gurley. Yeah.
can you work outside of Todd Gurley? Can you get your other receivers? That's my issue with the Rams.
It's true. Very
but
true.
I'm still gonna rely on the Rams easily over the Falcons. The game before we talked about the Titans and the Chiefs. I don't care for those teams. I don't see them going anywhere.
I'm going for Titans, but like I said, to be honest, that's just a game.
I think the Rams have a good chance of making it to at least the conference championship
Yeah,
game.
they're a contender, definitely.
So I don't know. Like I said, if they could like manage to get an offense outside of Todd Gurley, just in case he does get bottled up, I think the Rams are a force to reckon with in the NFC.
I'm scared of the Rams and the Niners next season.
And they're young teams,
Yeah,
honestly. You know, the Rams. The coach is 31 years old.
I think we're getting back to the NFC. What are we? North.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting back to that being a top tier division. I think next season, because remember it was like, oh shit, the Seahawks and
Used
the
to be the
Niners are
49ers, yeah,
they're
with
turning
John
it up.
Harbaugh days or Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, and then the past like 3 years has been kind of a joke, and now the division's climbing back up, and it's getting vicious again. That's fun. So yeah,
Yeah.
I guess we're both going Rams on that one. Then on Sunday there's two games. Oh, this is Eastern times. That's why I'm looking at the times and they look weird. On Sunday, the first game's gonna be Buffalo Bills versus Jacksonville at Jacksonville. I think at first I wanted to go Buffalo, but I might go Jaguars.
Hmm. I think I'm gonna still. Well, it depends on LaShawn McCoy. Honestly, he did have that ankle injury, but they're saying that it's not too bad. So if he's 100%, I'll go Buffalo still.
And the next game after that is gonna be the Panthers against the Saints, and I'm gonna go. Fuck. I wanted to say I'm gonna go Panthers because I don't like the Saints, but I don't like Cam Newton because he screwed me over fantasy football the past last year. I'm writing that.
And he thinks it's funny women know how to read routes. So
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's funny you know how to read routes.
I want to. To his defense, I know what he meant. I think he just worded that, or maybe he shouldn't have said that, or he just worded that weird. Like
He might. I think
it is somewhat of a sexist thing.
maybe that reporter asked him like another bad question before that, where she was kind of like grilling him, maybe, or there was like maybe another game, a post interview he had, and they just didn't see eye to eye.
Yeah.
So he probably kind of threw a little shade at her, but it kind of like threw shade at all women, because all these reporters like talk to Cam Newton every week, the same reporters,
Yeah.
and they might have some bad blood from previous games or
Yeah.
something. So I'm assuming that's what I think he probably meant it out of like just to like throw some shade at her, but
Yeah, ended up pissing off everyone.
everyone with ovaries, yes.
And some people with no ovaries. Which reminds me, the state of Washington now has a third gender. Whenever
Yes,
you have
that X.
X.
Congratulations, honestly.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I mean, no, like it's just like male, female, penis, vagina. Biologically, that means facts.
I don't know.
There's two genders.
For
Now,
me,
I am not stopping anyone from
Jackass
saying
thing.
I'm not stopping
No.
anyone from saying that they feel different about it. That's absolutely fine. But biologically, I mean, if you break down the science.
yeah, it's true. You're right about it. Biology has something to do with it, but I also think the brain has something to do with it too. Like
course.
how you conceive yourself.
No, see, that's
So
fine.
that's how I look at it. So
Yeah.
if you feel like if you're a guy and you're like, I feel like a girl, that's fine.
No, that's fine. That's
But
absolutely fine.
I understand where you're coming from, the biology thing, penis, vagina.
Yeah. But if you're a dude willing to chop your dick off, whew. I can call you whatever the fuck you want me to call you.
Honestly, that's ballsy.
Yeah, so not to get into the politics of all that, but yeah, okay.
So I'll probably go with
I'm going Saints.
You're going to Saints, okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Saints.
I kind of rather would like to see the Panthers win because
I kind of would too,
I
but
feel like
I'm riding on the hate.
I feel like it'll be an easier team to beat if I'm
Oh,
Philadelphia.
you have
If
a
I'm looking at
personal-
Philadelphia, which I'm a big fan of Philadelphia,
Yeah.
obviously I'm a little biased. Say Philadelphia has a chance to play one of these two teams, who would I'd rather face? I honestly would rather face a Panthers team than a Saints team. So I'm going biased. I'm gonna go with the Panthers.
That's fine.
I like the Saints. I'd rather see the Saints, but this is personal,
Yeah. No,
bias.
no, that's fine. Because I pick the Seahawks every week on my picks,
Mm-hmm.
and
It,
I was
it
only
works.
right like
It worked for the most part.
9 games, 9 weeks. And then of course the bye teams. We don't have to go into that, but that concludes the games this weekend. Should be fun. I don't know. I'm glad I can watch football now.
And not worry about like
Yeah, and like
this player better do good.
with the Hawks being out, like just a fan of the sport. I like that I can just sit back and watch. Maybe a couple quarters. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna watch all 4 games. I'll probably watch one for sure, like really watch it, and maybe another one. But I don't know. It's just fun because I just kind of feel like I need to do shit. I can't just watch 4 football games this weekend. That's a lot of time. Um, trying to think. Okay, so that was it. Blair Walsh and that.
Now they showed the leading stats of like the season stats or whatever.
Oh, that's right.
The
Yeah.
league leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And one name that really kind of took me by surprise was the Jimmy Graham from the Seahawks. He had the second most touchdowns from any player in the NFL.
In the NFL.
Yeah, the first one was DeAndre Hopkins with 13 touchdowns, and Jimmy Graham had 10 touchdowns as receiving touchdowns, I should say.
Okay, so
So he had the most cast the most catched touchdowns of the year, the second most.
yeah. So is that like caught in the end zone or caught,
Yeah. Like
okay.
this is like making touchdowns. So like even if he like this is when he scores touchdowns basically.
Oh, so it counts if he catches.
Yeah,
Runs,
and then he
okay,
runs.
okay.
Yeah. Like this is touchdowns, and that was a big name of mine because I've been giving him crap since he's been in Seattle.
Rightfully you should, and like I was afraid we were gonna lose him because there was talk about halfway through the season we might lose Jimmy Graham
To trade via trade.
And then Russell almost like heard that and was like, "Oh, we got to keep him." So he started finding him, and he's still connected with like Wilson. His
Luke Wilson.
yeah. So he's still connected with Luke and the rest of the guys. But yeah, Jimmy right around the halfway through the season, like I said, after we heard that we might get rid of him, a little scare because I was stoked when we got him.
So would you pay money to keep him?
Yeah. At first it was like we have a weapon that we don't want anywhere else. But then like it was just like we need to use him. And then we didn't use him really last year. And it was making me nervous because like I said, first part of the season we weren't using him until that little like we might get rid of him. And then we started using him properly. And the dude's huge. Like I still like I still every time he catches the ball I'm just like holy shit. Like how are they going to take him down? And it takes him like an hour to fall down whenever they tackle him. I'm going to get him a good bump on the side. He's like falling for 30 minutes.
Well, yeah, he was a former basketball player in college. He's a power forward, so he's a big dude. He has the reach. I don't know if I'd keep him though. Honestly,
I would.
you're gonna have to pay him top money.
I would for one more. I give him like extend him one season and see how much we use him. I don't think
free agent though, unless you franchise him, you can't sign him for one season.
Really? Well, how old is Luke Wilson? Can we trade?
I think
him?
he's young. Honestly,
No, Luke Wilson has been like a top.
He's valuable.
Yeah, he's
really
valuable.
Good.
Like weighing both Luke Wilson and Graham, even though Graham would be deadly in any other team, Wilson to Wilson is like a combination that's worked perfectly in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd almost rather keep Luke Wilson.
He's kind of like that hometown hero.
Yep. So, but no, yeah, this is a surprising stat. 10 touchdowns, puts him at number 2, right?
Yeah, number 2 in receiving touchdowns. They had a rookie have the best rushing yards with that. God damn it! I just had his name from Kansas City. Give me a second. I had it right here. Kareem Hunt. That's his name from the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, that's right, Hunt.
He barely beat out Todd Gurley and Le'Veon Bell, who both sat out the last game. So easily,
Yeah.
Gurley or Bell could have won that. But
Now Hunt was like kicking ass the first part of the season, right?
He was kicking about the first 5 games. I mean, he had that first fumble on his first attempt,
Yeah.
but after that, he just tore up the league with the first 5 games.
Yeah, I thought I remember seeing that he was just tearing it up. I remember his name was one I kept seeing on the highlight reels like the first
Hmm.
part of the season. Then Kansas City kind of went quiet. Um, their momentum like just shifted like almost like 180. It's just like they were tearing it up, and then somehow they just
I think it went from like week eighth ish is when Alex Smith just getting exposed. As far as passing touchdowns, number one, Russell Wilson.
Yep.
34 touchdowns. Number two, Carson Wentz with 33, and he missed the last 4 games.
yeah.
So that's good for a second-year quarterback. Tom Brady, he's still up there with 32.
Brady was quiet this year, but he was like putting up those numbers.
Oh yeah, he was number one in passing yards too, over 4,500 yards,
Holy shit!
ninth time in his career. Also with Philip Rivers, 4,500 as well. And actually, Drew Brees, excuse me, he had 4,300. Philip Rivers did have a lot of yards too, but Tom Brady and Drew Brees, 9 years of over 4,000 passing yards.
That's nuts. I throw the ball like 5 times and my elbow's already given out. I can't do that. Well, I mean,
So those are some interesting stats. You know, it's kind of like weird because you didn't think Russell Wilson actually threw that many touchdowns,
no,
or
yeah,
Jimmy Graham caught that many touchdowns. Like I said, I've given Jimmy Graham like shit since he's been in Seattle.
yeah. When I saw the tweet about Russell, I knew that he was doing good, but I was like number one. I was happy, but at the same time, it caught me off for sure.
Hmm.
I didn't know what the Graham thing, but I mean, like I said, tied for second. I definitely didn't. I thought maybe there'd be more people, especially like some go-to receiver. But kudos to the Hawks putting together
A solid offense.
a
A
solid
solid.
offense that, if you watch them play, doesn't look like a solid
Oh
offense.
God.
So I'm trying to think of any other sports-related stuff aside from, like I said, the MLS schedule came out. Soccer. But I'm not gonna go into this. A bunch of games. Every team's gonna play, I think, 37 times. They'll face every team in the league once, and the Western Conference teams will face Western Conference teams, I think, twice, something like that. But 37 games is a lot. Holy shit.
How much is it usually?
It's that much, but they added LA FC this year, and
Is Nashville?
Nashville's not ready. I think Nashville won't be till next season. This league's getting huge. It's getting huge.
Might be too huge. So
Yeah, so I'm already looking at like tickets to Sounders matches that I'm interested in. There's one in Vancouver. I wouldn't mind driving up there. It's like a Saturday game.
nice.
And then of course I always try to get a Portland game, maybe a Galaxy or something like that. But that's that.
Maybe
don't-
go to LA and go watch that Galaxy game.
I heard the stadium's actually in a bad part of LA. Like by bad, I mean
I think it's is it Carson or something like that?
it's like in the middle of nowhere. So where
It's
the
like in
Chargers are playing right now, that's where.
it's Carson City.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it is.
Yeah, so there's like nothing out there. I
Yeah,
think.
it's terrible.
So, yeah, and I think I was listening to Bill Burr's podcast, and he went to a game there at that stadium because he's in LA, and he said he didn't mind it. He didn't mind a smaller stadium. He said where he can yell and know that like
They can actually
they
hear.
can him. Yeah, and he said he actually enjoyed it. Like you go to stadiums everywhere, and they're just huge, huge stadiums. So to have something smaller, more personal venue.
Yeah, the CenturyLink is what, over 66,000.
Yeah.
The one in LA is only 35,000,
I mean,
maybe 33.
I was gonna say that
thousand.
that sounds like a lot though.
So it sounds like a lot, but that's half of CenturyLink
That's true.
essentially.
Yeah.
And we've been to CenturyLink. It's big.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not as big as like a lot of other stadiums.
It's definitely that's eliminating the top bowls for sure.
But it's really, really small.
Yeah, the more I think about it, yeah, that's pretty damn small.
But yeah, MLS.
MLS. Kind of sportsy. Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh,
12.
12.
I've only watched the Jericho versus Kenny Omega.
Alpha versus Omega.
It was a pretty good match.
It was really good.
Yeah, and I didn't know what to expect. I know I expected something a little slower. Like I wasn't expecting Okada
Dude,
Omega.
I thought it was gonna be like, I thought it was gonna be a slower match, like a long match. But in the beginning, they were kind of like going at it pretty quick,
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, this might not last as much, but it did.
yeah, and it was done perfectly. Like it was timed great.
It
Like
was good.
the spots were pretty good. There was a couple.
So many high spots.
There was a couple. You know what's funny is when they first started off and they locked and they were punching each other.
Yeah, the hockey.
They weren't punching each other like at all. Like it was funny because I was watching. I was like, I don't think any. Like their arms were like at least a couple inches away. But I mean, I was like, okay, oh, I'll buy it. I'll buy it. I'll buy it. But it was just kind of when I was watching, I was like, that you guys could have worked on that. This is like the first opening, and you guys are already kind of doing.
I liked it because it kind of pays a homage because they're both from Winnipeg and they're big for hockey and
Yeah,
hockey has those brawls. So
yeah,
I'm assuming they threw that in there to like, okay,
yeah,
this is a little tribute to Canada and
yeah.
hockey, and I really liked it.
No, yeah, I did, but I was just like they could have at least tried to connect a little bit more. At least from the angle I saw, I was just like they're not even getting
Yeah,
close to like
no, yeah, I get you.
uh selling
One
it.
one of my big moves that I really enjoyed was the lion salt. Is that what it's called? I
Um,
forgot what it's called. Where Jericho jumps off the ropes
yeah,
and does his moonsault,
yeah, the
his
lion
lion
salt.
salt. And I've always been a fan of that move from Chris Jericho.
Oh, it's simple, but it's so nice to see.
It's a big throwback, and it just looked really nice yesterday or this morning. I actually was out, and I ended up getting home at around the time they started fighting it, which was 3 o'clock. It was
Western
3:30,
time,
I
yeah.
think, I believe, when they started fighting. It was 3 or around there, and I watched it. I didn't get to watch it all because I was tired, but it was really good. Chris Jericho was really trying hard to be the bad guy. He
He
was
sold it.
flipping people off, you know. He was
Yeah.
like cussing at people. The ref was Red Shoes.
Mm-hmm.
That's his name, right?
I think so.
That's what they kept on saying. And he pushes him out of the way, and then he puts his son, who's another referee. I guess he like
They have like these
they have like more than one
Japan.
referees.
Well, no, they have like these ring boys in Japan.
Ring
It's,
boys,
it's
yeah.
it's interesting. I don't know. I mean, it sounds kind of weird, but they hang around the ring and they kind of I don't know what the heck they really do besides like clean up, restore order kind of deal. Um, but that's kind of what I'm assuming that's like a referee in training
Yeah, and
position or something like that.
one of them was, I guess, is the ref's son, and he puts the ref's son in a Walls of Jericho right in front of him just to show how badass he is. You know, he just
Yeah.
being that bad dude, and he really sold it. Um, People were, like going for both of them. You know,
Yeah, and kudos to his dad, the ref, for being a pro. He didn't beat the shit out of Jericho. Like, dude, if someone's kicking the shit out of my son, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of him too. But his job's more important, so he was a pro.
I love those little tables,
Uh,
those little the
yeah,
Japanese tables. I feel like they hurt more than the American tables that they use in the freaking WWE and stuff like that. Because the WWE ones look so corked.
yeah,
And it's like, who uses wood tables anymore? Like,
yeah. Their tables, at least the ones they use in Japan, actually look like
they actually look
yeah,
like it would hurt.
yeah.
And then you see it where Jericho, like, he gets a cut on his ass
Oh yeah,
from
yeah,
the table, and then like later when he does the Walls of Jericho, it's like bleeding a little bit, starts coming down.
yeah.
But yeah, they had some good spots. Uh, where's another one?
I liked when Jericho did the off the second rope drop kick to
Right on the knees.
yeah,
That looked like it actually really hurt.
yeah, that was he made a connection there, and that was a pretty cool little spot there too.
That was a good one. I like when the Walls of Jericho used a lot.
Yeah,
I think he put it in them like at least 3 times, and the second time, he had it really in there, and Kenny Omega reaches ringside,
oh for
and
the
he pulls that spray. I forgot what it's called.
they said it was cold spray.
Cold spray.
Yeah,
And they used that spray in the Being the Elite series. There was an episode where they're like they were kind of doing like a spoof infomercial of the spray,
yeah,
and they spray each other in the eyes. And that was a little homage to that too. So he sprays Chris Jericho in the eyes, and then he sprays himself, and then he sprays his dick pretty much.
yeah,
But I thought that was pretty funny.
yeah. It was a entertaining match to see, and I and it was something interesting about seeing Jericho's entrance
Oh,
as somewhere else besides
the WWE.
WWE, and it was almost like a little chilling, and at the same time a little like made it special. I don't know. It was
I
just like
liked it.
when I was like seeing the entrance done somewhere completely like new. And it's the same entrance, but it's just a whole new venue, whole new environment. And I was just like,
Whole new theme song.
yeah, I
He
was
had to
just
use
kind
his
of
own
like,
personal
and
song.
it actually worked.
Yeah,
Like
I
I
liked it.
actually, and I was just like, it's happening. Like he's somewhere else now.
Yeah, it
Um,
was.
so it was fun to see, and that match was pretty damn fun to watch. I'm like I said, I kind of wanted to go in there with an open mind. I had an idea like it's not going to be the athleticism as Okada um, and Omega would have been or are kind of
Hmm.
because Jericho's a little bit older. Let's be honest,
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
he's like
40, yeah,
47.
47. But it was still very fun to watch. Um, should we spoil the result?
No, I think we'll let them.
Okay,
We'll let them.
yeah,
We'll let them. Jericho won.
yeah.
Just kidding.
I got to finish watching the thing, and then maybe I mean on the next one if we want, we can dab around and talk a little bit more about that. But for now, that was anything I watched on that. Um, but yeah, I actually can't wait to watch the entire thing.
Outside of that, like that was a co-main event on that card. That card is stacked.
Yep,
It's like the Japan's
Mania.
version of WrestleMania. Like it's gonna be all your top stars. I like Wrestle Kingdom because a lot of the stars have their own. They come up with their own like entrance, and they'll change it up. Like Kenny Omega usually has like the Terminator
Yeah, the
thing.
Terminator thing.
This year he came out in a kind of like an Aztec warrior type because he had like
Yeah, I
a
noticed he
thing,
had
I
a
forgot what
weird
it
thing.
was,
Yeah.
and he had like some sort of like futuristic gun. And then what was I gonna say? Villain Marty Skrull, which is in another match before, he came out in like a big old crow. Like his suit was huge. It's like a big old like he was a blackbird.
Yeah.
That's his little thing. But I was reading a tweet from him. Like someone's like, "Oh, great costume," and he's like, "Yeah, thanks. You have no idea how hard it was to get it to Japan." Like it showed pictures of him like putting the set together. It took him all day, and it just shows like how much effort these guys put in
Yeah.
to wrestling. Like we don't pay attention, but it's just the art form. Honestly, like we know it's fake wrestling. We know it's not
It's
real.
choreographed
It's
entertainment.
choreographed, but come on, these guys put on a show.
Yeah.
But I really, if you guys don't watch wrestling, give this a shot. There's a few matches. There's the Fatal 4-Way for the Junior Heavyweight Championship that had Marty Scurll, and there was this guy named Will Ospreay. And this guy's as acrobatic as they come. Like he's a high flyer. He has all those flips he could do. At one point in the match, he came off of one of the. They had kind of like a similar Mania setup where there's like poles off the ground, and he climbs up and he just does like a I can't remember what kind of flip, but he lands on everybody. It was a pretty high spot, but there's a lot of great matches on there. I've seen a few, but not all of them.
I'm gonna put my phone on do not disturb because I've my fantasy football people are communicating. Um, even though the season's done, the shit talking never stops. Um, yeah. Like I said, I can't wait to watch the rest of it. It's gonna be pretty fun. Um, so you haven't watched the Dave Chappelle stand-ups then?
Not yet.
I recommend them, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I watched both of them, and I remember I was gonna play the second one. He does like a little bar, and he's kind of sitting on a stool. And I remember my younger brother came over, and I was like, "Oh, here, let me play this joke for you," because I think it's pretty funny and stuff like that. And the intention was just to play him the snippet. We ended up watching the entire special. No regrets. Like it was really good. So now I kind of want to go back and watch the first one. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Dave Chappelle. So what's interesting though is I've been seeing the C that he was using for like when he was on Chappelle's show. So I wonder if he owns that. Like
I think he does. He has on this. He patches on his clothing.
He has the C patch. And I remember when I first saw it on his
The first
first
two
two.
specials.
Yeah, and I was just kind of like, does he own that? Is he paying Comedy Central for that? Like, what's going on? But no, he's so comfortable on stage. I think he has a little arrogance in one of his stand-ups, and he says something like, I'm just really like, he's like, I know I'm really good at what I do, and he says I'm like, and it seemed a little arrogant, but the thing is, when you watch him perform, he is really good at what he does, and he probably is one of the best to ever, get on stage because he can deliver a joke from any angle. Like he's just really good at what he does, and I'm glad he's a comedian, and because the dude makes me laugh. Like every special, every stand up I've seen, even some of his older stuff, I thought was pretty good. Um, but yeah, recommend him. I don't want to ruin jokes, but
So
recommend him.
prior to this last year, he wasn't doing anything for like the last 10 years, right?
Like 12,
There's
something
like a
like that.
big
Yeah,
gap
there's a big
between the
gap.
Chappelle show and its last four stand-ups.
Yeah, well,
He might have had like the movie. He had a like a block party movie.
yeah, he had the Block Party movie. I remember when he first came back, he did an impromptu deal in Portland where he was yelling through a megaphone, doing like a set. It was weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was booked for like 5 days in Seattle, and it pissed me off because I didn't go to a single show.
Ah,
So he was still kind of crafting his style and honing his style, but he stayed underground.
like yeah, like national standpoint, like nobody,
Yeah,
like not a lot of people knew him unless you like
unless you followed him.
actually Googled Chappelle. What is he doing now?
Yeah.
You
He
know,
he stayed like down low to the ground. Like I said, yeah, he wasn't really anywhere.
making a
He
fuss, but
he might have been like he might have done one late show when he first came back. I remember seeing him on like on a late talk show.
yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, no, he had a silent kind of comeback.
So with that big, that big gap, and he drops four stand-up specials, two each. Like he had one in the beginning of the year
Yeah.
with a set of two, so that's two on the same day, and then he just released two more at the end of the year. Do you like that, or is it too much?
I don't mind it because they're all pretty damn good. But the part that got me was that he and Netflix said Dave Chappelle is going to give us three specials. So he drops the first two, and he already filmed one, and then he did another one, and he gave them both to Netflix. And they said, all right, cool. And then you just got to do one more. So for them to release two instead of one, um, I thought that was I don't know if it was a secret on both their parts that they just told people you're gonna get three Netflix exclusive stand-ups, but at the end of the day, it was four. So I was excited when I saw that there was essentially 2 more hours of Dave Chappelle material.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. He well, I guess I can somewhat go into. He said something about, I don't know if he was joking or not, but he said something about like disappearing for another couple more years after this. So I don't know if he will, but I don't mind it, and I hope that he just kind of does one. Like it's just kind of like it's not too much because trust me, throw me all the Dave Chappelle, and like I'll watch it all. But um, I don't know. I just kind of like I just want to make sure he's consistently doing specials because I'm a big fan. I don't want to have another big ass gap for like
12 years.
yeah. I want to have a consistent Dave Chappelle kind of special.
It's kind of good that there's that gap because you don't want to get oversaturated,
George Carlin kind of did something like that where he was releasing a shit ton of specials.
and like it kind of like decreases your value. So knowing that you won't get none for a few years, it's like it kind of feeds people. Like, all right, give us this, give us this.
Yeah.
But if you keep making him do, all right, we need you to do this every 3 months, he's gonna run out of ideas. I haven't watched the second two, but I'll probably watch it this weekend. But I'm really glad that Netflix is stepping up in the stand-up game.
Yep.
Honestly, it's a bigger audience.
On demand.
It's on demand, so you can watch it whenever, and it just gets more names out. Like if you get all these high-profile guys, comedians, it'll kind of like trickle into getting. When you're finished with those guys, you're like, okay, I'm still in the mood for some more comedy, and you start getting more curious. You'll start listening to these other guys that are not well known, And there's a lot of good comedians out there that we
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Like I'm waiting for Chris Rock's new special. He has a Netflix deal too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he has
I
like
didn't
a.
know that.
I want to say it's like a 5, maybe 3 sets. But he's supposed to come out real soon with one of them. But it just gets us in the mood for comedy, and
Yeah,
stand up in general is just great.
I think that's a difference maker for Netflix and Hulu. I think Hulu needs to realize that they should probably try and get some stand up too, because comedies just people need to laugh.
Oh yeah, especially with what's going on in the world.
Yeah, Motel 6. So, um, I mean that's kind of a segue into Motel 6. Um, which I can actually segue into something else. In the state of Washington, the state of Washington is suing Motel 6. And I wouldn't have known this unless because I saw your tweet. And I was trying to figure out why the hell Lalo's tweeting about fucking Motel 6. I was like, oh, okay. And I thought it was going to be some sort of like drug deal, bed bugs or something. But no, in the state of Washington, I guess they've been giving away guest information to the feds, right? It was the feds.
Yeah, to the ICE, so they could catch if there was any illegals. They'd catch them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like profiling. So
Yep.
if you check into a Motel 6, and you have to, if you had him to look like an illegal alien, which Mexican,
Can be
if it's like, oh, if he's Mexican, well, for the most part, it's gonna be Mexican.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, hearing this.
Oh, this guy's Mexican, so let's turn in his paperwork.
Right here, but I mean, you go into the western part of the state, a lot of Asians over there.
That is true too, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like, sticking on this side.
But anyways, yeah. So if you look not white, most likely they were gonna turn your information over to the government, and they would do a background check, make sure you're legal, blah blah blah. So it's kind of like profiling, basically.
And you get busted.
Yeah.
And speaking of the government screwing over, Kim Jong-un, I think.
His button. It's not up to par as ours.
Of course, Trump tweeted out that his button is bigger.
And more powerful.
More powerful.
And more real.
Did he say that?
He said that it's actual real.
I read the tweet. I forgot. Should I look it up? I don't know. But when I saw someone retweet it with like they quote tweeted it with ... and I was kind of read it a little bit and I was like, what do you expect? And then I actually just kind of decided, all right, I'm gonna read the entire tweet.
Mm-hmm.
And then I read the entire tweet and I was just like, for real?
He's gonna get us killed.
I'm just is he really just tweeting out this dumb shit?
He's basically like telling Kim Jong Un his dick is bigger than his.
Yeah, all it is a pissing match. That's all it is, and it's a bad pissing match that can lead to a nuclear fucking war.
And we'd all be paying for it.
I'm gonna look up the tweet just for the hell of it, just to kind of get it. I'm trying to see. Is it right here?
You're gonna have to go through a lot of tweets because he tweets 40 hours a day.
Holy shit, dude. Holy crap. He does tweet a lot.
Just search the
I'm going to go off
button.
Google and hopefully someone's quoted it in their articles. If not, then it's like a lost cause.
You know what? I might have find it actually. Hold on. Oh.
Yeah, getting a little feedback there. Yeah, I can't find it. Oh well.
Yeah.
Wait. Did you find it?
Yeah.
All right, read it off, man. Of course, I just find it too, but all right.
If you found it, go ahead.
Okay.
You have a better Trump voice than I do.
Oh, I'm not gonna read in his voice.
Oh, god damn it.
I can attempt to, I guess. Okay, this was tweeted out January 2nd, right? 2018.
Which was yesterday. Actually, 2 days ago. Wow.
Yeah.
Sort of the 4th.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un stated that nuclear button is on his desk now he's British.
Yeah, I was
at all times. And I'm just gonna read that. Will someone from his depleted, and food starved regime. Oh wow. This is my second time reading it, so I'm just like, oh shit. Please inform him that I too have a nuclear button. I can't do the British accent. I got to work on his accent. At least we got him for a couple more years. But it's much bigger and more powerful than the one, more powerful one than his, and my button works! Exclamation point. Now I'm trying to figure out if this is like some fake shit or some real shit.
No, this is real.
I almost don't want to believe it's real.
No, it's real.
Jesus, we're gonna die.
Yeah, we're fucked.
Hmm. That was my segue to the button thing. And also stop watching Logan Paul.
Oh God.
No segue into that.
No Logan Paul, no Jake Paul. Don't be a Pauler.
No, you know what's interesting is I remember seeing the video on the top. Okay, so quickly, just so people know, people do know, but it's just like the Logan Paul posted a YouTube video where he showed he went to the suicide forest in Japan, and he found a dead body and he filmed it and made a YouTube video, blurred out the face and stuff. Uploaded the video. It was on the top for YouTube for a while, and then like a couple hours went by and he just got really bad feedback from everyone. Once the adults saw it, he got the feedback that, hey, you shouldn't do that, because he kind of was joking around a little bit in the video. I don't know if it was joking or nervous laughing.
I never watched the video, but they were saying that he made fun of the guy for killing himself, and then he was like making fun of people who are suicidal.
I watched some of it. I watched a clip on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt here in some parts of the video where it sounds like it's a nervous laughter. Because I mean, I would probably not know how I would react, and I'd probably have a nervous laugh too. But yeah, I just wouldn't have uploaded anything like that at all. There was a YouTube video way back in the day, where kind of someone that did what he did, except not aimed towards kids. It was a daily blogger guy from Canada. Walked outside and he found like a homeless guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he was gonna go check up on him or something like that. Anyway, the guy ended up being dead.
Oh God.
And if you look at that guy's video, he not once showed the body, and he talked about it, and he said that like he wasn't gonna pan the camera over and all that stuff, and he just kind of said, and it was just done in a way where he just said, basically, we found a body and stuff. I'm not gonna film it. I'm not gonna do anything like that, but I think the guy probably died like from cold. I think it was like a winter deal, and just But that was done that way, and that was very different from this video, where he actually filmed the body, and then I think at some points he panned the camera down to the guy's kind of where you can see his hands, and they were obviously already like turning blue and stuff like that. So I didn't click on the video because the title I thought was clickbaity.
Yeah.
And I didn't really take a good look at the thumbnail. I just saw his dumbass face, and I was like, I'm not gonna watch this. And then I saw all the backlash, and I was just like, wait a second, did he actually do this? So I just saw a couple clips. I didn't watch the whole video. I don't care to watch the whole video. I watched kind of just like to see what people were talking about. And then like this is the more interesting part is I have cousins that are really young, like elementary school and stuff like that. And over the holidays, I think my brother had asked them, "Oh, what do you guys like to watch on YouTube?" And I think they mentioned the Paul brothers and stuff like that. And now I'm just kind of like,
well, they do different. They don't like do collabs on videos,
but
they do kind of like similar stuff. Like Jake Paul is known to have that Team 10 or whatever.
Yeah,
and Logan Paul has his own thing, but this is like you said, it's unacceptable to show a dead body.
And then especially like I said, and then I thought about it. I was like, my cousins, my little elementary school cousins watch.
They probably saw the video.
Yeah, and I was like, holy crap. And I'm not a parent and shit, but now I'm just kind of like,
puts things in perspective,
Yeah, and now I'm just like, holy, like I don't want my cousins like yeah, it's so, and those guys like they're I don't think it's their target audience, but the audience that appeals to them are the younger audience. So
No,
they're
that
gonna be
is their
watching that.
target audience.
Is it too?
Yeah,
That's
they've already they've acknowledged it
yeah,
that they cater to the kids, and they know that the kids are the ones that are their bigger fans.
creepy.
So yeah,
Um, so that's my
don't
take on that.
don't watch a Logan Paul or a Jake Paul video.
I'm glad they're.
Don't be a Pauler.
Yeah, I don't watch either. I find them kind of irritating. Um, I found a lot of those YouTube videos with. There's a couple YouTube channels I follow, and I see people making like faces for
Hmm.
the thumbnails, and I'm always like,
I don't want to
I
watch
don't wanna watch it.
it.
And one thing is like, okay, I'm a big fan of Philip DeFranco. I like
Okay.
Philip DeFranco. But sometimes his thumbnails kind of irritate me, especially I don't like the hands together in prayer, and he does that quite a bit on
Hmm.
like his videos. And every time I see hands together, like prayer kind of deal, I really don't want to click on those.
Yeah,
I just for some reason I just don't like thumbnails like that.
I hate the thumbnails. Like, oh, touches her boobs, and it shows like the thumbnail of like a half naked chick. But when you click on the video, there's nobody naked.
There's a YouTube channel I follow that has clickbait thumbnails.
I
It's
hate when they do
annoying as
that.
hell.
Yeah,
I'm actually thinking about unsubscribing because I'm like, the titles are interesting and the subjects are, but
they never
seeing the thumbnail and not seeing
anything in that.
anything, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just kind of like, okay, no,
really.
this childish. So, well, I don't think there's anything else I can really cover or want to talk about. Talked about a little bit of everything.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this is gonna wrap up this podcast. Like I said, 2D, 3D for a while,
We'll still be
but
3D.
nah, yeah, we'll still be 3D. There'll be two of us most likely, and maybe every now and then bring in someone, which is not too bad because we can always bring in people that know a little bit about some other stuff, and then all
Hmm.
that good stuff. Um, but all right, have a good. Well, hopefully everyone had a good start to their 2018. I know
Oh
mine's
shit.
been a little interesting, and we lost a fucking member. Just kidding. All
It's
right.
not
Well,
looking out this year.
yeah, I know. Nah, it's all right.
No.
Well, I'm gonna sign out. Lalo,
Stay classy, San Diego.
deuces.